Hey there, beautiful earth angels. Elvia Rowe here, AngelsTeach.com, and welcome to our April messages from the angels. Really excited about this month's messages because AngelsTeach just turned 17. I can't believe it. It's like not only can she drive, she can almost vote. Pretty crazy. Can't believe I've been doing this work for so long. And it's such an honor. I love doing this for you guys. It's just really, it touches my heart, and I know that it's my soul work. Because we're turning 17 and it's such an important number for this year, for my work, for what AngelsTeach is here to express, we're going to be doing readings focused on the 17th card in the major arcana of the tarot, which is the Star. So the Star, and we're going to do the 1, 2, 3 thing. So you guys are going to get your own, chance to tune into your angels and get the messages that you need. But I want to give a little backdrop about what the Star is about, because this is a card of hope, of healing, of intuition and guidance. It's about the empath. It's about recovery. And the recovery part is important because the card just before this, and this is based on this paradigm of the major arcana being the hero's journey or the heroine's journey. It starts with the Fool, and so each card progresses, and it's this journey of enlightenment, of awakening. And so the card that came right before this is the Tower, which was last year for AngelsTeach, and it certainly was the Tower. For me personally, with breaking my shoulder, with our daughter having brain cancer, it was just like everything is thrown up in the air and dramatic change. Dramatic change. So this is a card of recovery. It's the card where we're able to take a breath and allow the healing, to allow the period of time where we can connect with source and kind of heal those wounds. It's medicine. I mean, all of it's medicine, but this is like a balm. It's not like a knife, it's like a balm. And I've always been intrigued by the two pictures. One foot is in the water, one foot is or the knee and the foot is on the ground. And it's about infinite healing. It's about calling on the energies of the angels, of the universe, for the healing of the body, the earth, and of the spirit, the waters. It's drawing from the unconscious into, what we need to be present and to move on from all of the disruption of the Tower and what that brings. And the card, by the way, before the Tower is El Diablo, the devil. So, we've just come through a pretty intense period of time. And, I give this reading in the context of AngelsTeach. And at the same time, the angels share that it really applies to anyone who's watching this, anyone who's really part of my work, because it's infused into everything that I do. So especially if you've been following me for years, which I know many of you have, and thank you so much, as well as welcome to all of those of you who are new and just recently joined the community. It's going to be a part of everything that I offer to you, are these energies. So one thing I want to mention about the Star is that it also has this resonance. Because it's a 17, it also adds up to an 8. So it has this resonance with the Strength card. And the Strength card is actually also the card for this year, 2024, because if you add 2 and 2 and 4, you get 8. And the Strength card is about compassion. It's about taming the ego. It's about just understanding and taming the ego in this way that's not aggressive, but instead one of just tolerance and understanding and accepting. And, look at this beautiful woman who's leaning over and just, communicating with this lion, which represents sort of that beast inside of us, and, saying it's okay, you be you, but, just calm things, just let go of the anger, let go of the fear, just trust, just be okay, and call upon that inner strength. Both cards, the Star and Strength, have this overarching essence of abundance, and not necessarily physical abundance, but spiritual abundance. You'll see the infinity sign above the Strength card, the woman in the Strength card's head, and you'll also see the two pitchers of water that the woman is holding in the Star card, that represents this infinite supply of source of healing energies. So just tuning in to see if there's anything else they want me to mention. Yes. So the woman in the Star card, or the person in the Star card, it looks more like a woman to me, but I know people have different interpretations. She's naked. She's stripped down. Like this whole journey to get to 17, and there's 22 cards in the tarot, so we're closing in on the end of a cycle. She's stripped down. She's raw. She's naked. She's here to be herself and to present a more authentic, connected, real version, without fear of showing who she is to the world. And she can do this because she has done all this inner work. She has done the healing. She has experience. I mean, the wisdom that comes from the experience just of the devil and understanding the traps of the egos and those habits and patterns that hold us back, and healing through all of that, releasing all of that that's ready to be released. And then this upheaval that the tower just throws things up in the air and, really insists on the release of everything that's ready to be let go, and seeing things, not really seeing things new just yet. I mean, certainly they feel new because of all this upheaval, but preparing us for what is to come. And the Star card is again, the bomb, but also the beginning of that new version or iteration of who we are as individuals. So with all of that, I invite you to choose number 1, number 2, or number 3. I'm going to be offering you a version of the Star card from 3 different decks, not the Rider-Waite, the one that I've been showing you. This is the Rider-Waite Tarot, which is the one that more people are familiar with. It's more of a traditional deck, but I've chosen 3 different decks with other pictures and energies of the Star. So all of these will carry everything that we've already talked about with the Star, but these cards will hone in on particular aspects of the Star card energy for you personally. And I am going to drop all the resource information in the comments below on the YouTube page, just with the decks and the books that I've used to reference, just so you guys can have access to that should you want it. So again, 1, 2, or 3. Just let your angels give you whatever it is you need right now. And I do want to say, because a bunch of folks say, well, all 3 apply to me. Take what's yours, take what feels right. So if all 3 messages or 2 of them apply to you and really feel right, go with that. Okay. So for those of you who chose number 1, you get the Star card from the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann. Love her work. She has several different, she did the Light Seers Tarot, which is a very popular, wonderful one. And this is the Muse Tarot. And here is her version in this deck of the Star card. As you could tell, very different from the one in the Rider-Waite. And I love comparing versions of the cards because it just enriches the whole experience of tarot and helps to see different aspects that may not otherwise be easy to see. So this message is emphasized, as you see, she looks to me like a movie star. And one of the interpretations of the star card is understanding your gifts, what the stars, what the heavens have blessed you with. And so if you chose number 1, there's extra emphasis on recognizing your gifts. So knowing what they are and harnessing them for yourself and for others, and maybe offering it to the world or not. I mean, the star card is not really an action type of card, but maybe starting to think about how you can offer your gifts to the world. First offering them, of course, to yourself. So for those of you who may feel like, well, I don't know what my gifts are, one of the things, and I actually answered someone's comment on the last video about this, one of the tricks or exercises, I should say, that is really helpful can be to really notice what other people come to you for. What are they looking for from you? What are those things that people see in you that you may not see in yourself? So if you're struggling to know what your gifts are, that's a really good place to start. You can even ask your friends and family, like, what do you think my strengths are? And, see what they have to share. A lot of you probably already know what your strengths are, and then maybe it's just, a matter of having the courage to step forward with them and to work with your angels. Another person I was actually coaching, who was wondering how do they get out there with their gifts, and it's like, well, tune in every day and baby steps. One of my favorite mantras, baby steps. So ask your angels, what can I do to express my gifts today? What's one thing? It doesn't have to be this big leap, this giant step. It can be just one thing. So what is that one thing each and every day? And journal about it, because then you can see the themes and you can see the progress, really, that you're making. So again, you number 1 folks, this is about recognizing your gifts and starting to think about how you can offer them to yourself and also to the world. For those of you who chose number 2, you get the star card from the Spirit Song Tarot deck by Pauline Cassidy. This is a beautiful deck that I don't use a whole lot, I have to admit, because the colors are kind of one tone, and I prefer decks that have more contrast. But it's really a lovely, lovely deck. And here is the star card in her version. And this one is all about recovery, all about healing. This is really, this beautiful swan is just being a swan. It's just peacefully sitting there. It's not doing anything. It's not going anywhere. It's just allowing the healing energies. So if you chose number 2, you're probably a little more fresh off the Tower card experience, and you just need the healing waters. In fact, I'm even getting this vision of taking a bath, or if you live someplace warm, going to the ocean, just allowing the healing energies to flow over you and just be. This isn't a time to be thinking about really a whole lot of anything other than what it takes for you to rejuvenate your energies, to restore your energies. So just tuning in to see if there's anything else with that. And it's feeling actually pretty complete, quick, but super important. For those of you who chose number 3, the star card comes from the Mystical Cats Tarot, which is created by Lunia Weatherstone and Mickey Mueller. This is one of my favorite decks because I am a cat person. Although I'm a little mad at my cat because she slept with Peter last night. Why? I guess she knew I needed my sleep. Anywho, the card is this beautiful version. You can see these cards are so very different. Again, just a wonderful study in how so many people just interpret these energies that are the same archetype, but carry different messages all the same. This one is about faith. So for you, number 3, folks, there's a lot of emphasis on what you're visioning for your future and what your faith in that vision is or isn't, as the case may be. You know, this kitty is looking at the lion, Leo, bold, courage. There's the reference to the strength card again with that lion. There's just, there's so much going on in the world. We all know this. It's an old story, and yet still so current at the same time. And it can be hard to hold that sense of faith in the future, not just for ourselves, but for the world at large. And, this is a call to bring yourself back to that vision of seeing yourself not as a kitten, but as a lion. As a bold, you're probably a little further along, further away from that tower experience, and, ready to start visioning a future that is bold and, really aligned with your guidance, your angels, and not seeing yourself small, but seeing yourself in the fullest expression of who you're here to be. This isn't about stretching the ego. This is about filling yourself with God, with that energy of source. The star card is associated with the astrological sign of Aquarius, which is Uranus and Saturn, two pretty heavy-hitting kinds of energy, authority and individuality, genius, revolutionary. And in the context of this card and this message, it's very much about you understanding what your unique purpose is. This harkens back a little bit to card number 1. The difference is that this is taking your gifts and having faith in them and allowing them to expand, allowing them to really, I'm hearing even blow up. In other words, like 10 times, 10x it, So in card number 1, you're just sort of feeling into your gifts and recognizing that you have them and identifying them and claiming them. And in this card, you're really being asked to look at them in a bigger way. You're not a kitten, you're a lion. That's your reflection, is that, and the lion in astrology is Leo, which is all about, being on the stage and being out there, not from an ego perspective, but from a service perspective for serving the greater good and doing what your soul came here to do in service to humanity and all of the planet, really. In order to do all that, it takes a lot of faith, a boatload of faith. And so that's where we go back to what I started at the beginning of this card is, it's really about faith in yourself, in the future. And I have this belief, I'm going to be transparent. There have been times, especially in the last few years, where it's wavered a bit, but coming back to, because it's really built into my cells that, there's so much doom and gloom, but the more of us that are able to hold this vibration of faith and express it in the world, to bring it to the world, first to ourselves, the more our world evolves and changes in a way that actually feels good, where the future feels bright, and we are all feeling safe and supported and loved. But it all comes with starting with where we are right now. And that means digging into faith in ourselves and faith that this world can pull through this perceived mess that seems to be everywhere. So this is a card of quite a bit of work, but it's really good work and it's important work. And I know I said that the star isn't so much about action, but this is a card that sort of moving towards the tail end of the star work, and which starts to get into the next card, which is the moon, which will be for Angels Teach number 18 next April. Yes. So that feels complete. It's interesting to me that these 3 cards are sort of a spectrum of what the star is about. There's this storyline that feels like, and I didn't expect this actually until I started recording, it's this beautiful spectrum. And I would love to be able to share with you what is happening next with Angels Teach, but the fact is I'm still in that swan. I'm still in my, recovery cave. I'm at the threshold. I'm starting to touch on the threshold and see what's on the other side, but my guidance hasn't been completely clear of what I'm going to be doing next. I know I'd like to bring back teaching the basics. I feel like understanding how to use your intuition and really harnessing the power of the angels in your day-to-day life is so essential, especially now. So I know it's going to involve that. I'm just not sure if I'm going to be resurrecting my old classes or just kind of revamping them and presenting something new. So that is ahead, but to be determined exactly how and when. In the meantime, that is a wrap for our readings for this month. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Truly honored that you are here and joining the journey. Please, as always, take the messages that feel right to you, add to what I've said. If something I say doesn't totally resonate, don't take it. This is all about you understanding your inherent authority and power and owning it and claiming it and being you in this world. So with that, so much love, blessings, happy April.